ourselves connected to our mats. And again, if you don't have blocks, you might want to grab some real quick, because we are going to need this today. And let's begin making those connections between our body and the floor, noticing those points of connections and grounding ourselves down into them. And notice your breath without really doing anything to it. Notice where it is and where it's moving. Notice how it feels as it enters your body. Notice if it moves freely or if there's any restriction. And then let's begin to make those breaths deeper. Bringing the breath all the way in through the head, through the chest, feeling it open your heart as it comes through your chest. And bringing it all the way down into your belly. And then when we exhale, exhaling fully, squeezing all of the air out of our bellies as it exhales. And since this is our first practice together in this space of the new year, I invite you, as you're bringing these breaths in, to start to visualize how you might like the year to play out for you. What kind of intentions do you want to set for yourself for this new year? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to learn? What do you want to unlearn? And allow that image of how you want your year to look to become clear in your mind. Notice the details, bring them into focus. Holding that image in your mind as we go forth into our practice. And if you like, we're going to tune in with the chant of Om. You're welcome to bring your hands together at the heart center. We'll take 3 breaths, and on the 3rd exhalation is when we will chant. So let's take that first breath in together. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale to chant. Breath in. Exhale, you can release the hands down, blink open the eyes, and just turn our hearts up just a little bit. I'm going to turn it up too loud so that it's not so much in the video for the purposes of copyright and whatnot. I don't want them to mute the video when I upload it. So if you're watching this on a replay, then just turn on whatever music in the background you want. We're listening to harps. All right, so we're going to begin with our torso circle. So staying grounded in the sit bones, rooted in your legs. We're just going to sweep the chest forward as we inhale and come around to the back as we exhale, rounding the spine. We open the chest as we come forward. And we roll the spine as we come backwards. We're creating a spiral from the sit bones all the way up through our crowns. Beginning to warm and flex the spine. Beginning to connect our breath to our body, to our movement. We'll go in one direction for a few rotations, and we'll change directions. forward, go in the opposite direction. Change your circles. Let's go a few more times. And then let's begin to make those circles smaller and smaller, allowing ourselves to slowly come to stillness at the center. Pausing when we reach stillness, just to notice the sensations in our body. Then we'll sweep our hands up over our heads, point our palms forward, and fold down in front of us. We're just loosening those hips a little bit, stretching and loosening that low back. And we'll walk ourselves back up. Sweep on our arms up again. We're going to bring one hand down to our right hip and stretch the left fingertips up and bring them over to the right side, stretching in the left side body. Take a couple breaths here. And then you can release the left hand down to the left hip and sweep the right arm up, reach tall on the right fingertips, and then bring those fingertips over to the left, stretching in the right side body. And we'll exhale that hand down, sweep both arms up. We're going to twist, going to the right first, coming left hand across right knee, right hand behind you, gazing over or towards the right shoulder. You inhale, you'll feel the spine elongate. You exhale, feel the deepening of the twist. Inhale, sweep your arms back up, and we'll come over to the left this time. Right hand across left knee, left hand behind you, gazing over or towards the left shoulder. And again, feeling the inhale as you elongate and the deepen of the twist as you exhale. And then inhale, sweeping the arms back up to center. We're going to let those hands come down. We're going to work our necks just a little bit here. Bringing your chin down to your chest. Inhale, allow your ear to roll over to your shoulder. It doesn't matter which side you start on. And then exhale, chin back to chest. Inhale to the other shoulder. Exhale down. Inhaling, shoulder to shoulder. Times each side. Let's go one more to each shoulder. And when you exhale down to your chest, inhale, looking back forward. We're going to interlace our fingers behind our backs to open our chest. So try to pull your hands away from your back. If you cannot do that, that is fine. Just push your hands away as far as you can, opening up through the chest. You'll feel that stretch in the chest. And if you cannot interlace your fingers, you're always welcome just to push your hands back. And then you can release that down, and then we'll transition to hands and knees for cat cow. Just throw my hair up real quick. So coming to all fours, hands and knees, tabletop position. Knees under your hips, wrists and elbows under your shoulders, a nice flat back. You can have a blanket underneath your knees if you need a little cushion. Inhale, look forward as you drop the belly button towards the earth, arching the back. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck your hips towards your head as you round the spine towards the ceiling. Inhaling, looking forward. This is our cow position. And exhale, tucking chin to chest, squeezing in the middle. Go ahead and get this for several rotations in the rhythm of your own breath, whatever pace feels good to you. Cat-cow is an excellent exercise for the spine, keeping the spine flexible. Also, when you're coming into cat position, you'll find yourself doing little crunches with your abdominal muscles. This is also a nice little abdominal workout that's very gentle. Let's go ahead and do a couple more. And after your last cat, exhale to a neutral spine. Or inhale to a neutral spine, sorry. And then we're going to come into child's pose, bringing knees about mat width apart, feet together, hips back towards your heels, forehead down to the mat or a block. Sometimes putting a block on your forehead can help get your hips closer to your heels, while still giving you the grounding effect of the forehead to the mat. Take nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. And inhale, push yourself back up to the tabletop. And we're going to transition through downward facing dog to standing. Pressing into your hands, tucking the toes, push your hips up and back. Leaning your chest towards your shins. And then look towards your thumb, walk, step, or jump your feet. We'll come into a full forward fold, allowing the top of our body to relax and hang down while the bottom of our body roots down through our feet. So we're strong in the leg, loose from the hips up. And then just roll yourself up to standing. Very slowly. Allow your chin to be the last to lift. We're going to do a few sun salutations. Full ones. This is my first day back. Come on. Well, you can always do half sun salutations if you want. All right. So we come to the top of our mats, starting in mountain pose, finding ourselves strong in our legs, rooted all the way down through our feet. Bring your hands into prayer pose at the heart. We will start out with half sun salutations to begin with, and then we'll do 2 of those, and then we'll do a couple full sun salutations. It's good. All right, so inhale, sweep your arms up, leaning back slightly, still on the inhale. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, come into half forward fold. Exhale to full forward fold. And inhale, rise. Once again, leaning back slightly, still in the inhale and exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to rise. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale. And exhale. And now we'll do the full sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come into downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, exhale to plank. Inhale, exhale to your belly. Inhale to baby cobra. Exhale down. Inhale back into downward facing dog. Transitioning to tabletop if you like. Exhale, inhale, and then exhale, walk, step, or jump your feet forward, forward, fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to rise. And exhale, hands together at the heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold. Inhale, step back into downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale to plank. Inhale. Exhale to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale down. Inhale, back up into downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, walk, step, or jump your feet forward. Full forward fold. Inhale to half fold. Exhale to full fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to rise. Leaning back slightly. Exhale, hands together at the heart center. We're gonna do one more. This one's just gonna be a half. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, full fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to rise. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Pausing here, taking stock. Noticing the shift of energy. Noticing the change of your breath. And bringing your breath back to the long, slow, deep breaths. Release your hands down. Go ahead and grab your blocks. Because now we're going to move into our hip opening sequence. So, I do like to have a blanket on my mat for this. If you'd like a blanket for lunges or cat-cow, you might want one for this. Just a quick drink of water. So with this sequence, there are some challenges throughout the sequence that you might find come up. Always, always, always make sure that you support yourself with blocks, blankets, making any modifications that makes the posture more comfortable for you, going into the depth that's appropriate for your body, or even just for what you feel like today. Just take care of yourself in this sequence, because it's not super hard, it's just different than what we normally practice. And there is some balance aspect to parts of it. But essentially there's very little that we haven't done before in some capacity other than the pigeon pose. So I don't think in this class we've actually gone into pigeon maybe in about a year or so. All right, so let's come to the top of our mats. We'll go ahead and just fold down and bring your hands to the blocks. And we're gonna start on stepping the right foot back, because that's the way I'm facing. Starting out in that high lunge, that runner's lunge, find your hips aligned with the short end of your mat, and this left knee stacked on top of the left ankle. We don't want to go ahead of it, but just on top of it. And then drop that back knee down. Put the top of the back foot down. Take another moment to just make any adjustments to that front leg that you need to. And you can go ahead and come on up. You're welcome to bring yourself into the warrior hands, bringing your arms up. I'm keeping mine down just for balance today. Just feel the stretch in that right hip. Then bring your hands down if you're up, and we're going to transition into the half split, stretching the front leg out. So go ahead and use that front leg to push your hips back towards your back heel. You can walk your blocks back if you like. Coming upright. Could be a micro bend in this front knee, toes towards the ceiling. And you can stay here, you can fold towards that front leg. Bring that front foot back down, back into that low lunge. Here comes the fun transition. All right, so we're gonna take this front foot and we're gonna walk it out slightly. So just heel toe it up to the side towards the edge of your mat. Bring your blocks back around the front at any height that's comfortable for you. And we're gonna bring our hands down here. So this is a deep hip stretch. And if you can, walk that front forward just a little bit. We're almost into a pigeon, but not quite here. Take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to push our hips back to push ourselves up. And we're going to transition again. So slide your blocks away. You're not going to need those for a few minutes. We're going to turn this back leg towards the back. So we're going to just pivot it around, and we're just moving our body direction to the long end of the mat. Then we're going to walk this front foot forward and out just a hair, and then we're going to lean into it like a warrior posture. So this is a low warrior 2. So if you need kind of a cue on how your body should be, just imagine that you're in the full warrior posture, standing. Then we'll bring our arms out to the side. Gaze over the left fingertips. Take a couple breaths here. Then you can release the hands down. You can push yourself back up a little bit. And we're going to turn this foot out so that it's parallel to the long end or short end of the mat, and this leg is straight. And this is gate pose. Then we're going to slide this left hand down this leg. Sweep this one up and over. It's almost a dancer pose, if you think about it. And then we're going to have a fun transition. Because we are just going to cartwheel ourselves over to this side of the mat, into tabletop, and come into downward facing dog. And then just walk into full forward fold. And then go ahead and rise. When you rise, take stock of your hips. And just notice how your hips are feeling. Then you can come back to the front of your mat. I'm going to stay on this end, just so that I'm continuing to face you guys as we do this on the other side. And then we end the sequence. We do it this side, and then we'll do the pigeon when we finish that sequence again on the left side. I was doing pigeon as part of that sequence, but I found it was an easier transition into pigeon if both hips were already worked. So that's why we put that at the end. So go ahead and come down to your blocks. We're going to step that left foot back this time. Coming into that high lunge, hips square to the short end of the mat, knee over top of ankle. And when you're ready, you can drop that back knee down, top the back foot down, rise. I need to shift myself back a little bit. A little too close to that, it doesn't matter. But it's what it's Breathe into the left hip, feeling that stretch. And bring your hands down. Press into the right foot to bring your hips back towards the left foot. Straighten the right leg, toes toward the ceiling. Again, micro bend in the right leg is always okay. And you can stay up or you can fold towards the right leg. We're going to bring that right foot down, coming into the low lunge again. Walk the right foot out to the side. This feels right, and then you can bring your blocks and hands towards the center. If you're not using blocks, you're always welcome to put your hands straight on the mat. We're coming into the lizard pose. This is a modified lizard. The full lizard pose actually has you coming down onto forearms. So we're not there yet. I mean, if you are there, go for it. Absolutely. You can always do more than what I do. And we'll push ourselves up, move the blocks out of our way, pivot this back leg to the back, walk the right foot forward, pushing it forward slightly, and then slide into that low warrior. And you can bring your arms out to the side. And you can push yourself up, release the hands, turn the right foot in, coming into gate pose. Slide the right hand down the right leg. Sweep the left arm up and over. And we're going to cartwheel over to tabletop and transition into downward facing dog. So from here, if you have a blanket on your mat, you might want to move it. Because now we're going to come into our pigeon pose. Keep blocks and blankets handy, because you may want them in pigeon pose. You just don't want them on the center of the mat. Take your right foot, bring it up into the air behind you, and then sweep it forward, bringing your ankle to your left wrist. So you're sweeping it across the front of you. Settling down onto your mat. You can bring a block underneath your right hip if the full pigeon pose is a little deep. where your hips are still a little tight. And you can tuck your heel closer to your body, or you can bring it closer to your left wrist, whichever is feeling good to you today. And then from here, you have options as well. You can stay nice and upright on your hands, or you can fold down onto forearms, or even come all the way down with your hands to, or your head to your hands, whichever is available for you today. Take a couple breaths here. This is an intense stretch, so if at any point it doesn't feel good, you're welcome to make any adjustments. You're also welcome to come out of the posture whenever you want to, if you've had enough. If you're on your forearms, go ahead and push yourself back up onto your hands. And we're going to transition out of this. So tucking the back toes, walk that foot forward just a little bit to lift yourself up, and then push up into downward facing dog. Take a second here to stretch. And we're going to do that on the left side. Sweeping the left foot up in the air, and then sweeping it forward to meet the right wrist. Again, coming into this posture, whatever way feels the best for you. So your left foot can be closer to your right wrist, or it can be closer to your right hip. You can have a blanket block under that left hip. And then you're welcome to come down onto your forearms or head to hands, whichever is available for you today. And breathe into the left hip. And if you fold it down, you can go ahead and push yourself back up onto your hands. We're going to transition out of this again, tucking the toes and lifting yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to come into the Malasana squat, so the really low yogi squat. So I like to just walk my feet forward a little bit, keeping my hands on the mat, and then just sinking my hips down into that low squat. Give yourself plenty of space between your legs for your body. And you might need, some of us need more space than others, but give yourself all the space that you need. So we want to be able to bring our feet flat onto the mat from here. And bring your hands to prayer pose in front of you, or keep them on the mat, whichever feels good to you. Take a couple breaths here. And then very carefully, in whatever way feels good to you, let's transition to seated. All right, so we are just going to do a couple seated postures, and then we're going to come down onto our backs for a few postures. We start to cool down. So we're going to come into dragonfly. So we'll bring, or half dragonfly. So bring one foot out, one foot in. Doesn't matter which one, whichever one you want to start with. Find a nice tall seat here to start. And then we're going to let that hand come down and grab ankle, shin, toes, whichever you can reach. If you can't reach your toes, isometrically pull those toes back towards you. And then if you'd like, you can bring the right hand up and over, adding in a side body stretch as well as deepening that stretch in your leg. And you can come come on up out of this one, release your toes, switch your legs. Finding a tall seat on this side. You're gonna slide your hand down, grabbing whatever you can reach. Take a couple breaths here. And again, if you'd like, you can sweep this arm up and over. And then you can go ahead and release the toes, come on up. Bring our feet together in butterfly. And this butterfly today can be whatever you want it to be. You can bring your feet in tight, close, and fold down, or you can have your feet further out and fold down, or your feet in any position and stay upright. Whatever you're feeling called for today, whatever your hips are asking for after that sequence that we just did. Push yourself up and transition to your backs. So we're doing things a little different once we get onto our backs than what we usually do. Still bringing our knees into our chest. Starting here in Apanasana. Hugging our knees in, giving ourselves a little squeeze. Giving your back a second to settle onto the mat. Rock side to side. Just a couple motions side to side with your knees, massaging the low back. Then next, we're going to start to the right, making circles with our knees. Just bringing the knees in and out in a circle. If you would like to add some core strengthening in to this motion, you're welcome to bring your hands down to your sides and just let your abdominals and your core muscles move your knees and the circles around you. And then the next time you bring your knees into your chest, change the direction. And again, you're welcome to just hold on to your knees, or you can have your arms out to the side using the core muscles to move the knees. And then the next time your knees come back into the center, bring them in and pause. We're going to rotate our knees again, but this time we're going to take our knees in opposite directions of one another. So bring your knees in, and then out to the sides, and then back in circles. So just making circles with our knees, and you can also add the core work in here by bringing your arms down to the sides. And then the next time you bring your knees into the center, go the opposite way, going out and then in. The next time you bring your knees in, go ahead and pause, give yourself a squeeze, and let your feet come down to the mat. Knees are still bent. We're going to do some reclining pigeon here. So let's bring our left ankle across our right knee. Let that right knee fall away from our body slightly. If this is enough for you and you've had enough of the hip opening for today, you're welcome to stay right here. If you would like still a deeper opening, you can bring your right knee into your body, hugging that right knee in. Maybe noticing how this reclining pigeon might feel different than it has before. Then you can drop that right foot down and then the left, and bring the right ankle across the left knee. Allow that right knee to fall away. And once again, you're able to stay right here if you like, or you can hug that left knee in. See, after all that hip opening, I don't even feel this stretch. So you may notice that as well, or it may feel different than it has in the past. A lot of things happening when you do those deep hip openings. And then you can release that left foot down, and then the right. And we have one more thing we're going to do before we settle into Savasana. Walk your feet out to the sides of your mat. And then we're going to do some windshield wipers with our knees. So bring your knees over to the right of your mat while keeping your feet on the mat. Your feet can roll from side to side of your foot, but keep some part of your foot in contact with your mat. And come down to the right for a few breaths. And then come over to the left for a few breaths. And you're always welcome to make this a dynamic posture where you just go from breath to breath, from side to side. Windshield vibrating, helping release those hips a little bit further, as well as helping in the recovery of the hips from those postures. Then you can come back to center and find your Savasana. Whatever that means to you. You might like a blanket under you, on you, under your knees. If you have tightness in your low back, a bolster or a blanket rolled up underneath your knees can be very beneficial. Help you maintain some comfort in that posture. I'm gonna turn some lights out. If you've taken anything off during the practice, it might be nice to put it back on because you're going to start to cool down. Let's take some nice, long, deep breaths in and out. And each time you exhale, find yourself settling in deeper into your mat. And together, let's take a nice, long, full, deep inhalation. And exhale, let everything go. And just rest. begin to make small movements in your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists, rolling your ankles. And I invite you to stretch and move in any way you feel called to do so as you bring yourself back into awareness. And when you're ready and in your own time, you make your way up into seated. You can rock and roll your way up, or you can roll over to one side or the other and push yourself up. When you arrive into your seated position, just pause there. Maintaining internal focus just a little longer. Noticing your body. Noticing the sensations that you feel now and how they may be different from the sensations that you felt when you arrived on your mat. When you're rocking, you bring your hands together at the heart center, bowing down to your inner brightness, and allowing yourself to be filled with gratitude for yourself, just for showing up for you today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. It's an honor to be of service. Thank you.
Namaste.